Grab your underground literature, wargamers, because today we need to deal with the aftermath of the last adventure of the crew of the Blackraven. As you recall, Cobalt 15, Lieutenant Dane, and the Magic Space Baby were able to get off the table. They ran a gauntlet, chased down by medical personnel hired by the Kafkocracy to ensure that the entire galaxy receives an inoculation that prevents them from, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't prevent them from getting space AIDS. It just helps prevent the spread of space AIDS. And if there's any little nanobots that are in there that can track people, well, these things happen. Oopsie doopsie. Of course, it's important that the robot gets inoculated against the disease as well, because we're all in this together. And despite the fact that he is a silica-based organism whose skeletal structure is chrome and steel, and his circulatory system is composed entirely of hydraulic fluids, he has to get it in order to protect everyone else. Hey, these guys have their orders, okay? They're ordered to make sure everybody gets it. They got to make sure everybody gets it. So they ran the gauntlet, and unfortunately, along the way, Marion got straight up captured. She has a knack for doing that. Poultry Joe took it on the chin. He kind of wore out at the end there. All flapping his wings wore him out, and they were able to put him down. Now, because the nature of the battle is that these guys didn't want to kill anyone, heck, they're trying to protect the public health. They're actually just public safety officers, if you think about it that way. They're not actually going to harm these people. They just want to go ahead and inoculate them. So what we're going to do to figure out, then they'll catch up with the crew later. What we're going to do to figure out what happens to them is we're going to make a endure roll. Oh, for those of you that are new, our battles these days are being fought using Andres Filigoy's Rogue Stars. And in Rogue Stars, normally when your troops fall down, go boom, and they're eliminated, well, the rules are a little odd, because it's strange. If you win the battle, control the battlefield, then you can, anybody that falls is assumed to get medical attention, they're fine. If you lose the battle, anybody that falls is assumed to be killed or imprisoned, and you have to do a rescue scenario. However, in Rogue Stars, I'll bring it up here just to remind you what we're talking about. Anybody that dies just loses all the experience they've gained through the campaign. They get all their weapons and everything back. Only the things that they purchased since character creation. They call on Gold Cross, and they drag another clone out of the vats, apparently. So not such a big deal if you die, because your roster isn't actually going to change. Now, we're not doing a Rogue Stars campaign. We're doing a bit of a narrative campaign. Heck, we've used 3 different rule sets in this campaign so far, and probably going to use a couple of more before it's all said and done. From our narrative perspective, these guys aren't going to be killed. They're just going to be given their health shot and returned out into the wild. So we're going to make an endure roll. And on a 1, it's critical fumble. They're dead. The totally unrelated causes that just happen to happen moments after receiving the injection will be responsible for their deaths. On the other hand, if they pass the endurance roll, then they're fine. They actually have tracker nanobots. We'll have to deal with that. We're going to run a mission so that they can't be tracked by the Kafkocracy anymore. Which leaves the question, what happens if they fail their endure roll, but not by a critical failure? Neither of these characters has any skills or abilities that would affect the endure roll. Normally, for every wound you have at the end of the game, you have a -1. However, the Kafkocracy, the SADs, are going to provide medical attention to them first, get them fully healthy, before they risk their lives with an untested and unproven vaccine. I may have to bleep that word out so I don't get tripped up by the censors. It's a science fiction setting, totally fictional. I'm not talking about a real vaccine. I'm talking about a fictional one, you see. And this vaccine, if they roll a 1 on this Endure test, they die. Excuse me. They die of natural causes, completely unrelated to the injection that they just received. If they succeed, nothing happens. They get returned to the ship with trackers. From a narrative perspective, it's going to make it easier for Agent Spliff to find them wherever they go. They may want to deal with that. We may run a scenario to try to clear the pipes of the tracker bots, so to speak. What if they fail? Well, let's roll and see what happens. First for Poultry Joe, again, 10 up is a success. He gets a 5. So he failed, and we'll roll once for good old Marion. And Marion gets an 18, so she is good. So Poultry Joe has failed, and that means we need to update the roster. The only real change we're going to make after this battle, Rogue Stars, you gain experience points, you can use them to buy stuff. The only change that we're going to make is that thanks to the shot, old Poultry Joe here now has a slate case of the Tism. Yeah, he's going to have Tech 1, which he developed totally unrelated to the weird chemical compound that they just injected to him. You know, it was going to happen at that moment regardless of being stuck with a needle or anything. So that's the result. He gets a slight bump, and, you know, you could justify it with experience points or something like that. But we're doing just a narrative campaign, stuff we're making up off the cuff, and that's all we got for this time. That wraps up the adventure of the Blackraven that we're calling a bad case of the SADS. Turning to the next adventure, we finally understand that the clue that Cobalt 15 found when he hacked into the memory crystals of the psychic space dwarves is that there is a ship that has visited the Magic Space Baby's homeworld. That's their quest. They're trying to get the Magic Space Baby home. And unfortunately, the ship that has the coordinates has been derelict for 10 years. He knows where it is. Cobalt is going to go to the Starship Justo, and he's going to break in, hack the system, get the jump coordinates, steal the jump tape so he can plug it into the deck and make the jump himself to that area. He's going to have to be careful. He's got 2 crew members now that Agent Spliff is capable of tracking wherever they go, so he's got to be quick. We're going to put a timer on it. He's going to have to get in, get the intel, and get out. And along the way, he's got a few more surprises. So tune into that. In the next few days, we're going to play another battle using the Rogue Stars miniature war game / kind of light role-playing game. And we'll find out if they can actually get the location so they can travel to the Magic Space Baby's homeworld. Thanks for watching today's episode. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you appreciate what we're doing here. If you do or if you don't, slam it in the comments. And if you don't, I might just, I'm a giver. I'm a wonderful host. Old Mr. Wargaming doesn't like upsetting people. So if you really hate this, make sure you let me know so that I can help you avoid the stress and agony of having to listen to someone who's lightly poking fun at a thing that you truly deeply believe in. The last thing we want to do is upset anyone here. The first thing we want to do is help you ease on down the road and be super chill. We're going to help you out with that. So like I said, we're going to keep having a great time. See you in a couple of days. Until then, I'm praying for you.